We're here at the griddle. We're gonna run an experiment. The experiment is gonna be, we're gonna use a thermal pad to test how well a thermal pad makes the water expand in one mason jar than the other. You might ask yourself, how is it doing this? It's doing this by filling in the small little imperfections that are present in the griddle, but also present in the mason jar. Let's get started. We're gonna remove the liners to the thermal pads and place it down. We're gonna place one mason jar on top of the thermal pad and one without. We're gonna see how this goes. It might be a few minutes. Let's get started. It's on now. We're back at the griddle here. As you can see, the one with the thermal pad is significantly ahead of the one without the thermal pad. You may ask yourself, why is this happening? The reason this is happening is because the Gap Pad is making better contact with the griddle in the mason jar than the one without the thermal pad. The thermal pad makes better contact and fills in all the small imperfections in the mason jar and also on the griddle, and makes better contact for better heat transfer. We're back at the griddle here. As you can see, the one with the thermal pad is about to come out of the straw. It's not even a close contest. The thermal pad makes significantly better contact with the griddle and the mason jar than the one without the thermal pad. You're gonna watch live now as the water spews out of the one with the thermal pad, and we're gonna have to see this one catch up. It's been several minutes now. The one with the thermal pad has won the race. You can see there's droplets falling out of the one with the thermal pad. This one's still gonna take a few minutes to catch up. If you feel each mason jar, you can feel a significant difference in heat between the one on the right and the one on the left. These mason jars have proven to us that a thermal pad makes significantly better thermal contact with the griddle and the mason jar than the one without. This is what the experiment was meant to do. We're with our heat gun here. We're gonna measure the temperature between one and the other. We already know a clear winner, but for fun, I wanted to use a heat gun. 97 degrees. 87 degrees. So we can see between the two mason jars, there's a stark difference with a thermal pad and without a thermal pad. The experiment's done. However, I wanted to show you what we mean when we say surface imperfections. On the bottom of the mason jar, there's these little grooves that go around the edge of the mason jar. When we say imperfections, that's what we mean when we're talking about the surface of something. You can see all these little dots indicating that was where better contact was occurring than the opposite over here without the thermal pad. These little surface imperfections, with the aid of a Gap Pad, gave it a decisive victory.